The story of England's creation is often overlooked, hidden behind the grand narrative of Great Britain and the United Kingdom. Yet, before these unions could ever exist, England itself had to rise first, and it did, all the way back in 927 AD. But how did this land become England? Who ruled it before the English, and what trials shaped it into the nation we know today? When the Roman Empire began to crumble and withdrew from the British Isles, chaos filled the vacuum. Waves of Germanic tribes, the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes, began migrating to the island. Some historians suggest that the native Britons, under constant attack from the Picts and Scots, invited these tribes to help defend their lands. The plan worked for a time. The Anglo-Saxons drove out the northern invaders, then turned on the Britons themselves. By the early 7th century, these new conquerors had carved the land into 7 kingdoms: Essex, Kent, Sussex, Mercia, East Anglia, Northumbria, and Wessex. For a while, these realms thrived independently, but their peace wouldn't last long. In 793, terror arrived from across the sea. Viking raiders stormed the holy monastery of Lindisfarne, burning, looting, and killing. The Anglo-Saxons were horrified. They had never faced such ruthless enemies. Within decades, Viking forces swept across the land. East Anglia fell by 870. Mercia collapsed soon after. By 875, only Wessex remained the final Anglo-Saxon stronghold. When King Ethelred of Wessex died, his younger brother Alfred inherited a kingdom on the brink of destruction. At first, Alfred tried to buy peace, paying the Vikings to leave his people alone. But soon, he realized that gold would not save them, only courage would. At the Battle of Edington, Alfred led his forces to a stunning victory, crushing the Viking army and preserving Wessex's freedom. Afterward, he also took control of a weakened Mercia, uniting the two under his rule, though parts of Mercia remained under Viking control, known as the Danelaw. When Alfred died, his son Edward the Elder and Alfred's daughter Athelflaed, Lady of Mercia, continued his mission. Together, they reclaimed lost lands, driving the Vikings north. Ethelflaed expanded Mercia all the way to York, and instead of fighting, the locals pledged their loyalty to her. After her death, her daughter briefly inherited power, but the Mercian nobles quickly deposed her. This gave King Edward the perfect chance to absorb all of Mercia into his domain. By the time of his death in 924, nearly all the Anglo-Saxon territories had united under one crown. His son, Ethelstan, would go even further. When his sister married the Viking ruler of Northumbria, the alliance gave Ethelstan the chance to secure the north. After the Vikings' death, Ethelstan seized York and finally unified the entire realm. Most historians mark this moment around 927 AD as the true birth of England. But Ethelstan wasn't finished yet. Calling himself King of the English, he dreamed of expanding his power even further. The alliance between the Scots, the Irish Vikings, and the Strathclydians finally met Ethelstan's army at the Battle of Brunanburh, one of the most legendary and mysterious clashes in early English history. No one knows exactly where it took place, but what we do know is this: the alliance was utterly crushed. Both sides suffered devastating losses, yet Ethelstan emerged victorious. Many historians believe this battle didn't just secure his throne, it forged a new sense of unity and identity among the English people. Still, the victory didn't bring all the British kingdoms under Ethelstan's control. The realms of Alba, Scotland, and Strathclyde remained proudly independent. England's rise was far from over. When Ethelstan died in 939, his empire's stability began to crack. The Vikings, sensing weakness, struck again. King Olaf of Dublin, a fierce Viking ruler, crossed the sea and reclaimed lost territories, seizing York and parts of Northumbria and Mercia before the English could respond. But his triumph wouldn't last. When Olaf died in 941, King Edmund, Ethelstan's half-brother, took swift revenge. Within a few short years, he recaptured the stolen lands and restored England's unity once again. Ambitious and bold, Edmund then set his sights north, invading Strathclyde. Though he managed to seize part of its southern lands, he chose to gift the rest to King Malcolm I of Scotland, hoping to strengthen peace between their kingdoms. But fate was cruel. In 946, King Edmund was mysteriously murdered, leaving his brother Edred to inherit the throne. A year later, Eric Bloodaxe, a ruthless Norwegian warlord, stormed into Northumbria and claimed it as his own. What followed was nearly a decade of brutal warfare over control of the region. Eventually, Edward reclaimed Northumbria once and for all, bringing it permanently under English rule. His death soon after ended this hard-fought victory, and his nephew Eadwig became king. Eadwig's reign, however, was short and troubled. Political divisions split the realm, forcing him to share power with his brother Edgar. But when Eadwig died only 2 years later, Edgar assumed full control. Under King Edgar the Peaceful, England finally found what it had long been searching for: stability. He implemented reforms, strengthened justice, and even preserved many laws from the old Danelaw territories to maintain harmony among his Danish subjects. For nearly 2 decades, peace, unity, and order flourished. Edgar's rule marked the moment when the Kingdom of England truly became a nation, not just a collection of conquered lands. The creation of England was not a single act, but a long, turbulent journey. From the chaos of Roman withdrawal, to the waves of Anglo-Saxon migrations, to the fury of Viking invasions, and finally, to the unity forged by kings like Alfred, Edward, Ethelstan, and Edgar. Each war, each conquest, each fragile peace, all of it laid the foundation for a kingdom that would one day shape the world. This was how England was born.